you spoke about past life regression, and I've had a past life regression, and saw three of my previous lives. In the first life that I saw, I was a cowboy, and I
Okay.
fixed horseshoes.
Mm.
In that, and that's what I want to touch on with you a little bit. In that first life, I actually saw my grandfather,
Right.
my paternal grandfather in that past life. My second past life that came across, I was a jester on Queen Charlotte's court, and
Wow.
and it's recorded. I have it recorded and everything. I cried in that one because they were very mean to me.
Mm.
And my third past life, I was a alien or a terrestrial. Let me, because you corrected me the other day. Let me say it right. Terrestrial on a,
Extraterrestrial. Yeah.
yeah, a extraterrestrial on the planet Siri, and we got our tentacles healed by waving them in the air. It was like a rhythm of
Right.
waves in the air. That's how we got our tentacles healed. So that's part of my first question that I wanted to ask you was in that past life, my first past life with my grandfather being there, I told my aunt, now I know because I didn't really get to um be with him a lot.
Mm.
Is he in my life, this lifetime?
Right.
So are our ancestors always with us in our past life?
Your ancestors are always with you, and it's a matter of knowing how to connect with them. This is why we say that you can connect with them, and they will guide and help you
Mhm.
from the other realms. And but what's happened is because of the distortions, we've been made to forget about the connection with ourselves and our ancestors. So we focus on other races or other energies or other familiar spirits that are not family to us.
Right,
And they feel neglected because they're like, we're right here, we're beckoning on you. We want to,
right,
but you're not even acknowledging us. And
right.
so once you start to make the connection and acknowledge them, they're with you all the time, everywhere you go. There are some that are they cheering for you to win, and there are those that because they didn't make it, or because they're trapped, or because they didn't burn out those desires that are keeping them trapped. They want to continue to exist and feel life through you. Because what
Okay.
happens is that when you leave here, there are different levels. And if you were someone who wasn't even aware and didn't wake up, it's like it's going to sleep, but you're not realizing that you've gone, but you're still in that next abode on a low vibration, but without a physical body, and you're still trying to do the things that you are attached to in this physical world, right? So
Mm,
yeah, let's say you want to drink, you go to the pub, but nobody can see you. You can't pick up the drink, so you're just frustrated if you're
mm.
not able to move on
Right.
until, like, say yourself, if you were in tune and contact with that ancestor, then you can actually help free them and
Mhm.
also help them to move on. And you do that by way of you recognizing the different personalities of your ancestors within you and knowing
Mm.
their voices and knowing who's pulling the strings or trying to get into your driver's seat. So yeah, they're with you all the time.
And even because in the past, in that past life, I was a male, and I was so shocked to see him there. So it's like he has been with me in many lives,
Mm,
not just this life. He was with me in that life, but
right,
as a bartender, and I was a worker. I fixed horseshoes in that particular life. So
right.
that was just so shocking just to know. I called my aunt. I was in tears. I was like, Auntie, he was there with me, like smiling at me with his smile. Like
Mm,
that was my granddaddy. I saw my younger granddaddy, not the older one, but
right,
him in his youth.
right.
So that was just shocking.
But there is something about hypnotic regression that is good when you you know what you see is pleasant or good, like your life was okay. But we don't really, the master teacher doesn't really well, he has said that we should try not to do unless it's obviously absolutely necessary. But because if you could be quite distraught or quite traumatized if you found out certain things in your previous lives, like I don't want to kind of give you the but like imagine you were someone really terrible in your past,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Makes sense.
or
Yeah.
or like you were the one that in slavery times, you were getting really abused, or there's some things that
Right.
you don't want to relive. So yeah, it's to be done, I guess, with discretion, if at all. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how I felt about the one with me being a jester. I
Right.
could literally, in that past life regression, they were throwing eggs at me, and you could hear the emotions come across in my voice because I sort of, she had to pull me sort of out of the hypnotic state and
Right.
put me back in. She had to move me past that one because I did get emotional. So I completely understand or
Right.
overstand what you're saying right now. I completely understand. So you just answered that one. My next question is the Heliopolitan cosmogony, or people know it as the Memphite text,
Okay.
and they start with or the Shabaka stone, whatever
Yeah.
is in there.
Yeah.
So I always got confused with the creation being either Ptah or Noon, because I understand Noon is the unknown matter, the primordial waters. So I know, is Ptah after the water or is he before the water? Because I know he's the creation,
Right.
but you
So
as it goes, okay.
do you want to? Yeah, I've got the question. Unless you wanted to elaborate.
Yeah, because it's because I watched the four verses 3. I want to, and because it's personal to my personal life, I understand that as it goes down, you got Jeb
I,
and
I
the
I can
shoe.
answer the question for you. So again, it's we try to separate things purely for us to be able to comprehend.
Right.
But when you start to look at things in a deeper sense, things are in cycles and connected. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So with Ptah and these beings who are very advanced beings, okay, they 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 personify. So like okay, say for example, people will say magic, right, in English. But when you start to break down, well, what is magic?
Mm-hmm.
In our culture, that would be a being called Hika.
Right.
Okay. Again, what happens is when we start going into our tones, our language, the vibrations and frequency are completely different. So you have beings that are they work together as one being.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the cycle that we're talking about, so you have like Hika, Saye, and Hu, and we're now talking about Ptah. So the cycle, if we just use the sun as an example, because that's that cycle of life where we say in the darkness, in the noon, right? That,
Okay.
that's the water, right? But
Mm-hmm.
as you come out of the water to where we would have, let's say, the sun will be coming out of when they say the sun has set, even though we know it doesn't set, it just goes into a shadow state if you're on the other side of the planet. So
Right.
then it comes out and they say it's the sun is rising, but and then you have this thing called the horizon, but it's really all describing our ancestors, right? So Horus rising or Ha rising. But when you come from the Nun, the first opening in terms of So we're using this example to just describe what we call night and day at the moment, right?
Okay.
So the sun comes out and it's supposed to be rising. And it'll be at that point where we say that's atom. And then it goes on through its travel to the midday, right? Where we say is the zenith or the highest point of the sun. And we say that's aton. And then as it starts to decline, we go into what we call amun, right? And then it goes into what we call the hidden one, because amun is the hidden one. And then you have, like I said, anun is where everything is happening in secret or in darkness, where not right. So now, if we apply that to the woman, it's the same principle. Like when the woman's having the baby in her stomach in the waters, all right? It's in darkness, okay? And nobody knows what's going on in there because it's all being that's the secret. And then
ding ding.
Right. And then the baby comes out from the primordial waters, or the water breaks, and then the baby comes out into this physical world. But before the baby even got inside of the woman, inside of you, the sacred feminine, that essence came from the father, but it was energy that is received as a soul from the pineal gland or the crown chakra of the male, because the sperm travels up the spinal column to get ignited, to give it that secret life, that etheric being that then gets inserted into the woman as the phallus, and then the waters or the sperm to gush and go into the ovum, and then the woman does the magic. But 3 months prior to the 9 months that you're carrying the child, you existed in the etheric realm, and then you've come down there like a soul, and then as you're coming down, the other elements also get attached. So the spirit, then when you're actually in the womb, the mother is breathing in the particles in the air, the dust particles. They get the story of God taking soil to form a man, but the woman is breathing in the dust, because most women, when they're pregnant, they suffer with sinus problems, right? So all that dust and the bacteria, which has been recycled over and over, gets attracted to this pure etheric energy being. And then obviously the process of now becoming mortal, as well as that special being comes out. Okay, so I'm giving you parallels, so when we line all three of them, it will make more sense. So now when you're looking at the cycles of the years, not just the day, so the day is just one day, but then you have like 365 days, which will give you roughly what they say a year, because it fluctuates with days being taken out and added in and so forth. So, but when you keep doing that for 1,000 years, then it goes on to 2,000 years, 3,000 years, in terms of the cycles of not just what we call day, but our planet rotating around the sun. And each cycle starts anew. So these elemental beings, or these entities that I mentioned, like Hua, Sia, Hika, they are the same, but they are, when they evolving, like, as I said, like a baby coming from the etheric realm to the physical realm, and then eventually you go back once your physical body goes back to the ground, right? So in the higher realms of beings, they are a part of an order. So the order that I was giving you when I said atum, atun, amun, and then anun, those are part of one order known as Re. This is why it's dealing with the sun. The word Re in our language is dealing with the sun, or Ra, as we say.
Ra,
So that's why you say Atumre or Atumra or Atum or Amunra or Amunre, and then Anun. So Pata is, so each one of those is a representation of a transformation that is taking place.
Right.
So when you're saying the hidden one, that's Amun, you're going to the undifferentiated one, and then you're coming out. And these cycles is the same being but transforming. So Ptah comes out from Anun as the first or the opener to begin this new cycle. This is also depicted in the scarab beetle in ancient Egypt that is dragging and it's showing you the process of life with the dung as it rolls it. But it's then Ptah comes out as the first or the opener. And these cycles have been going on for time immemorial. But we relate to them based on these 24,000 year cycles composed of 6,000 years of a sun cycle, 6,000 years of a moon cycle, 6,000 years of a sun cycle, 6,000 years of a moon cycle. And that takes 24,000 years, which we refer to as an equinox. Then the cycle starts again. And when it's another rotation, we say it's an epoch. So it's almost like if you think about, you wanted to know who is above or who's first, it's like a butterfly or caterpillar, should I say, a caterpillar going from a butterfly, going from being a caterpillar to becoming and blooming as a butterfly, lives like, and it's a cycle. It's the same with like water. So the waters is where the life or the miracle, the magic takes place, because all life has to have the elements that I've just mentioned, which is soil, which is earth, right? So we say they say the fifth element or the fourth element because you're talking about the soil, the sun, the soil, the water, the sun, and the air. This is why our land was called Tamaray, because it's dealing with nature and the sciences of natural nature, and that you need these things to grow. Okay. And our ancestors knew, and it's like you have to master all of the elements, and then you become the fifth element, right? So you got what did I say? Fire, water, air, what's the other one?
You got land. You got
land. Thank you. Yes.
Land.
So there was a movie called The Fifth Element with I can't remember
Chris Tucker.
Yeah, Chris Tucker was in it. Yes,
Chris Tucker and Bruce Willis.
That's the one, right? Yeah, and at the end, they were trying to stop the planet being destroyed, and this extraterrestrial, the female that came, she was saying "bada bing, bada boom," trying to explain that man is about to destroy the planet, and she was supposedly the love interest with Bruce Willis, and it was love that was that fifth element that was able to open all the other ones to preserve the planet from being destroyed. So what I'm saying is the master teacher is going through these cycles, because as Anun, this is where the word, when you hear us call him, we say Pa Nabab Ya Nun. The nun is relating to that state in darkness where everything comes from.
Right.
Hence why we say that God was in darkness before he said, "Let there be light." And as you come out from the light, he personifies as Atumre. Okay. Right. And then each one of these sections is representing those cycles of, as I was saying, like if you split it in four, like you're going to have Anunre, Atumre, Atunre, and Amunre. And each one of those represents a school that he was teaching us. So it ties to what we basically call Wunuwap. Okay, Wunuwap is a combination of these other three. So we say Asanupu, Nabanupu, Wunupu, and all of them make up Wunuwap. If I'm saying things that you learn when you start to read the books and study.
No, I'm so there. I'm there.
Right.
I promise you.
We are going through this transformation, and the being that's doing that is Ptah, who would be the first in terms of coming out of the waters of Nun, and then
Gotcha.
starts to give us the information. At one stage, we were referring to the master teacher as Atum Ray, and then he was going through moving us through these sciences. But then as we got to Atun Ray, which was the beginning of the new 24,000 year cycle, which occurred in the year 2000 AD. All right. So if you look at the last quadrant, or the last from, let's say, 3 o'clock, if we're going anti-clockwise, we're going from 12 to 9 to 6 to 3, and then back to 12. So from that 3 back to 12 was the last 6,000 year moon cycle. Okay. And so from the year 2000 AD, when we reached the top, some people say, oh, we're in the 25,000 year, but they're only using the 25 if they carried on counting. So instead of 24, you can either start again and say 1 and then go another 24,000, or you can carry on and say 24, 25, 26 and go that way. But anyway, from the year 2000 was the end of the age that people refer to as the Pisces, the Piscean era, and the new sun cycle, and Atonre coming into play. And then that was 2 years later, because that's when he started to say, like, no more games. It's time to reveal all the secrets, tell you everything, and let you know, what he's here to do, which was to give us Partaruk, our way, to give us actual facts, to give us the master secrets, and to start going into a lot of the sacred teachings that will wake up those divine beings on the planet up. And
Yes.
and then 2002 is when he got incarcerated, because they realized at that point that it was no more religion, because he cloaked us under these 6,000 year schools of religions. If you break that last 6,000 year moon cycle into 3, you get 2,000 years each. And the last 2,000 to the year 2000 that they actually recognize who he was, because they've been setting up and waiting to try and stop or prevent this being coming. But when he was teaching us religion and going through those schools, they regarded it as, oh, this will not have an effect, because they have seen religion and they know the origins of religion, and that it was given to us to enslave and keep us from rising. Right. Nothing would work under religion, but this was a new way. It came, and they didn't know anything about it, or don't know anything about it, because it's the natural forces of natural nature, the female forces of natural nature, giving birth and rebirth to the women in this new cycle. So it's basically unstoppable. We just got to get it to the people who still think that they're powerless, still fear, still think about being in a low vibration, on a low state of mind. But many are naturally waking up because it's already encoded in your name. Yeah, so that's what's going on. I gave you a long answer, but I hope.
No, look, hey, I'm the student. It's my responsibility to listen. I'm here for it all. I'm appreciative that I joined that video that day, and I was speaking, and you responded to my Nikola Tesla question, and you was literally trying to find it. So I was like, he felt me. He understood when I asked, was he terrestrial, and because he knew so much.
That's right.
I want to go back to, so I'm going down the.
Yeah, if I say anything that you want to drill into or ask more for, seek more clarification.
Yeah, because in my mind I have tied your 4 verses 3 conversation with this the Memphite text, and so when it get to Shu and Tefnut, air and sky, and then jab and nut. It goes on down or whatever. But as I was studying that text, it says that Shu and Tefnut were one, and they split into two. So like they're hermaphrodites,
Right.
in a sense.
Right. So
So
the characters of sorry, let me let you finish. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask you. So is because, like I said, this part is like personal for me. Is because when you were speaking in the 4 verses 3, is that part of the X X Y X X X to give you those off of the split of the like a Shu and Tefnut and a Jab and Nut? Is that like because of that split we get all these extra chromosomes to make up the different people? Because I'm natural. I'm like nature. I believe in the lion and the lioness. Like I'm there. Like that's
Right.
me. But my child isn't. So it's like me still trying to get that understanding and be there for my offspring in the same way.
Right.
So if that makes sense.
It does. It does. Again, all the stories, even the Shabbat story, these are all coming from our stories, as in ancient Tamaray, which even when, like I was saying about the elements and Tamaray, that's ties into becoming. So some of the stories are repeated, but using different terminology, right? So
Gotcha.
we would say Tamu Nefu Set, right? Tamu Nefu Set is again in relation to the elements, and you can still hear Ta, right?
Right.
And then Tamare or Tamare, and there's a name, an American name, Tamara, is very popular. It's
To
this,
marry what they're talking about now. I'm
right?
there.
Yeah. So Tamu Nefu Set is still saying Ta or Pata, being the first, the soil or the earth, the land, and then Mu relates to the water or Ma, because when you study languages, you start to see that the vowels are interchangeable. That's why when you say Tamara, even though it's an A after every, Tamara, when you say Tamare, you're just changing the A at the end to an E, right? And when you're saying Tamu Nefu Set, the Mu is the U can be changed into an A. So you get Ta Ma or Ta Mu. Nefu is air. It's the same where you start to say Shu. Shu is
Gotcha.
right. So
Gotcha.
you say when you say Tamu Nefu Set, the Nefu is dealing with, like when you're dealing with Tefnut, right, which is
Gotcha.
moisture. You see,
Yeah.
so they're all related, and then Set is the sun. This is why people say the sun sets, but the sun or the Ra is dealing with the sun. But
Gotcha.
when you start to deal with the languages, different cultures will break it down and call it, instead of Ra, they're going to say God, or they're going to say in the Sumerian doctrine that becomes Damuzi, and in Greek that becomes Osiris. Okay, so yeah, so in terms of the split, this is what I was trying to explain before, that when you think about water, although water is one, but it has different states and different forms.
Okay.
Right? This is why water is used as a simple way of explaining this cycle I'm talking about, where you have solid, it becomes solid, liquid, and gas, but they exist at the same time at different vibrations and different density levels. So the water in the form of ice is solid, but then when you apply heat to the water, it will melt the ice, or to the ice, it will melt it into a liquid. Still the same thing, but it's just in a different form. And that liquid, when it's heated again with a higher temperature, it starts to evaporate and become steam. But the steam is still around, it's just maybe not noticeable or seen by the naked eye. But that steam will continue to go back to itself and starts the cycle again. So water is in everything. It's just in different forms. Like hydrogen is water, right?
Right.
Because you hear the word hydro is relating to water. The planet is predominantly water. We are
Mm-hmm.
water beings because we came out of the waters, and
Water.
our bodies are composed of liquids of
Mm-hmm.
different forms of water, like your red blood cells and your white blood cells, and the blood and everything is, it's all liquids. And then even though we're separated, water is still water and it still vibrates on that frequency. And
Mm-hmm.
we have to drink water every day to stay hydrated, and we have to take a shower or a bath. So we're still connected to water, even though we're physical. So in the same way, when you look at air, fire, or light, and you look at the sun, these are the same elements, but in different density levels. So
Makes sense.
water's always going back home to water.
Gotcha.
You can never restrict water. No matter how many years you close it in a jar, it will find its way home. And that
Right.
same with us. So yeah, your shoe, your all these elements in one. You have the sun within your being. We just
Okay.
the solar plexus. So you
Gotcha.
water, but you also have the sun, and the sun is responsible for the burning that keeps you alive. This is why you breathe in oxygen, but you give off carbon dioxide.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something burning, and like not everybody has that sun lit, and we
Mm-hmm.
relate that to the sun or the soul, because
Mm-hmm.
the word sun and solar are interrelated. So
Right.
solar plexus is the sun within you. If you've activated it, and if it's burning and you're alive, and
Right.
we relate that to the other suns, you have a sun in the center of the earth, and you have
Mm-hmm.
outside of the earth, which is 93 million miles away. All
Right.
those three suns are connected. And then when you start to look at that diagram I was talking about, you have the sun in three positions, right?
Yep. You do.
Rising, the middle, and the setting. And then, of course, the magic happens in the darkness and the blackness, which they now refer to as dark matter, or,
Right. The
and
unknown matter.
right. So when they look
Right.
into space, they're trying to figure out what's the darkness. That's us. We're the darkness.
Right. Exactly.
And the darkness that everything comes from. Because
Right.
light travels within the darkness, but it can't escape the darkness. Even
Right.
traveling at, that phenomenal speed. So
Ye-
it's the same when you start to look at, even though they call us black, we're not black in the sense of a color, because black is not a color, as you know, right? It
Right.
black absorbs all colors, and everything combined is black. But we're talking about a state of consciousness or mentality that
Right.
where who comes from, the
Right.
create, yeah,
Right.
will that we have to manifest and create things in what we call the seen world, but we exist in the unseen world, which they thought didn't exist until
Exist.
they started to subdivide the atoms and
Mm-hmm.
subdivide hydrogen to see quarks and subdivide that. And, they've got,
Mm-hmm.
and they keep biaps and zeelies, and it keeps going. And there are 9 levels of ether. Now
Right.
they're recognizing that 9 ether, the highest, and that's where everything comes from. But there's
Right.
no knowledge of that. So we're now being taught who we really are to take us back to that state. So we're all of it from
Right.
9 levels coming down. You are air, you are water, you are fire, you are all of those elements.
Okay.
You choose to personify those aspects of yourself as splitting, as you say. So as a mother, you are the goddess that's creating in your womb, and your child is attached to you by your umbilical cord, so that it's feeding off of you. But you pull every element to create this new being from yourself. And the
Mm-hmm.
difference when you have a male child and when you have a female, with the female, because you're female and you're given that child, your mitochondrial DNA, you're going to draw more from yourself. And so when we go back to when beings that come here that have a double resonance, or as you said, they'll say hermaphrodite or hemophrodite, these are beings that their both natures are more protruded. So we both, male and female, have the both natures, but it's just that there are beings that vibrate on a higher vibration because they have a double portion or double resonance. So they're both male and female, either physically or spiritually at the same time. So you can have a male that's got a female spirit, and you can have a female that has a male spirit. This is because the tones and vibrations, these beings were utilized to open gateways and open portals to allow beings to go into these other realms that you're not able to unless a being that knows how to open these portals or gateways is able to utter those tones. So my final point on this is that you've asked such a great question, so forgive me if I'm going long, but the master teacher being here is that film I mentioned about the fifth element and the point we're in. If we don't do the job of awakening people on the planet so that we can actually change the fate of this planet, it may get to that point where it's completely destroyed. All right. And at that stage, you need one who has the tones and knows how to open these gateways or portals for beings to be taken or leave here. And you need to know the way. It's not as simple as like, just give your life to Jesus or whatever. When you start to break things down in a more scientific way, this is why you have CERN and all these, they're opening gateways and portals and bringing all types of entities from different realms here. But we need to do the opposite, alchemize and use our magic, which I refer to as Hika, which is mental. And so that stone or the writings you're referring to, they come from Tahuti. And when I wrote like the emerald tablets and other writings, which go into what some people refer to as the Hermetic principles, but these are all coming out of this being that has the secrets and the knowledge. And so, yeah, people will try and interpret it in different ways in different scrolls, but ultimately, he is the holder of all that knowledge. So, yeah, you're going to be able to get clarity when you start to read. Now, we have a book that he has authored called The Sacred Wisdom of Tahuti. When you read that in alignment with what you're reading there, you get a lot of clarity. But yeah, so as a female, you can split. That's what you do. This is another piece of the puzzle because people say we teach that the woman was here first, and factually, that's true because everybody on the planet comes from a woman. And the way she was able to do that is the process you've described, where she was able to split, like have a single cell and then split that. And this is called,
ding ding moment.
Split the cell, and then you get a parthenogenesis, or what we call asexual reproduction. And then she was then able to give birth to both male and female, originally used to give birth to 2 children at a time. This is why you have 2 mammary glands, right? To feed, breastfeed both of them at the same time. But over time, you lost your, you've forgotten, shall I say, these sciences and these things of who you really are. And now you're regaining that knowledge again. But
talking to you, I get like, my mind is just like whoosh, like so much has flooded in.
Yeah,
and I have been
when I speak with people, I can literally see that you can see my words as pictures.
Yes,
like
you can actually, clear as day.
Yeah, visualize it to get the clarity. That's good. But yeah, your next question.
Okay, so
I'm going to come back on anything that I've said is fine.
Yeah,
Mm.
but speaking on what you just talked about, because you actually, it's like I got a list of questions over here. So
Yeah.
it's like you went from my one to my two. So when you talk about the energy that we have out here in this society that we're in now, and by me in tune with energy, I feel energy all around me. I could walk in a room and it's like it's overwhelming sometimes because I could pick up on everyone's energy, what they're going through. And
Right.
so my question is, um, it's like the ancestors are speaking to me to speak to certain people. However, everybody is not receptive to you being that having that sense of discernment about who they are as a person, because I can literally tell them their entire life, but
Mm.
many times I don't,
Yeah.
because I want to be correct in my speaking. I'm not a master, I'm not anyone's teacher.
Mm.
However, it's sometimes is speaking so loud that it's like it's forcing me to just touch and say whatever I need to say and move on. I spoke something, driven away, and I could hear it as clear as day. So my question is, when the ancestors are speaking to me like that, and I'm not sure if that person will be receptive, how do I handle that?
You have to, this is such a great question. Um, and I relate to so much that you've said. You have to learn how to be disciplined and how to control it, because it can be overwhelming. Because, like you say, as an empath, you're able to feel pain. You're able to pick up, like you say, you can literally pick up energies, frequencies, vibrations. And this is because you're now getting in tune with your higher senses. Although not fully, you're still able to get in tune with like your telepathy, your psychometry, your clairvoyance, and these psychometry, these are like the being, when you start to realize that you as a being were designed and you're a tuning fork. And once you start to heighten in your mental being, you start to re-access some of the nerve endings that were left from when the barythroid gland was removed. So you can object read, excuse me. You can read minds, that's telepathy. You can know
Right.
things instantly, that's intuition. These are
Mhm.
things that we have and abilities that we have. The thing is, you have to learn and know or be taught how to control the power, because sometimes
Mhm.
people want the power, but they don't realize the responsibility that it comes with. And this is why
Mhm.
you have to start studying and learning and being under the master's guide, because you have to be taught how to manage it. Because if you don't, you can get drained, like you say, because
Yes.
people pull energy from you all the time.
Yes.
Once you know how to protect yourself and know when and when not to use it, because people want the gifts, but they don't realize what it comes with.
Right.
Like to say I'm God is not just an ego thing, or goddess. It's like, if you are, then you're responsible for everything, for everyone and every situation. So you have to be in a position to be able to deal with that. And although people
Yes.
are like, I would like to have telepathy, but if you don't know and study it, telepathy means you might be able to hear 100 people speaking to you at the same time, and you're
Yes.
meant to be able to cope. Um,
Cope. Yes.
so you have to know how to only channel to the person you want to hear, and the rest are silent unless you want to
Yes.
lean on them. And that's just one example. So these are things the master teacher is teaching us, and you just have to make sure you're in the right place and to be around him. And now the first thing is to get in tune with other like-minded beings and go to, like, we've got many. When you're in Georgia, we've got places in Georgia. So yeah, you can go to, like, you know the community or the bookstores and start to work with the family and learn more, because not everything is shared in public forums.
Absolutely. It's just sometimes when I'm in public, I do like this. And it's so funny. I'm covering my ears, but it's in here. It's like, it's like, if you want to say, no, don't do me like this today.
You have to learn
And
to
I mean,
breathe in.
yes.
We have a book called the Breath Book, the
Mm,
meditations, the relaxation. There are many things you can do to start
yeah.
to be able to manage it better. But
Yeah.
ultimately, you are going to be utilized to help other people, like
Right.
once you have full kind of control of your ability,
Yeah.
you're able to govern and manage them properly. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you get
You
taught.
don't want it to come across as ego, because it's never ego. It actually happened to me today. One of the young ladies at the restaurant, she walked by me and I was like, what's wrong with you? Like, I could, like, it was so strong. It was like it said swoosh. She looked at me, she was like, Miss Toya. And I said, no, I can feel it. And
Yeah.
in the end, I stood up when I was leaving. I asked her to come here and I hugged her and I spoke to her and I told her the God is within her, that
Mm,
she's seeking to help her through this process that she's going through, like this turmoil that she's feeling. And I told her, if you looked at me at the moment, at the state I was in now, I said, you wouldn't know the weight that was on my shoulders. I say, because I'm not going to project that or allow it to take over me. You
right.
know, I'm the God that I seek. So I am going to control what's within me right now. And it's not for everybody to know. So
Mm,
I just told her, to be
yeah.
strong. She'll be okay. And she thanked me, of course, but that's every day. Like, it's on me, like wherever I go. It's people I don't know and I could feel them. And I be like this. My daughters, they laugh at me because I be like this. And it's a lot.
Yeah, I know. And you also have to be careful because some people they may it's personal and it's your experience, and no one can take that away from you. However, it's like like you said, when you start looking at ego, and like everybody has gifts, and when you recognize yours and you're celebrating it or you're embracing it, some people start thinking, oh, you think you're special, or they have
Mhm.
that jealousy or that. So sometimes you do need to know how and when to how to, I guess, execute and in the right place and space. So
Right.
yeah, this is what a master had to do. He had to kind of hide, not hide in the sense of conceal things and only secrete and give us information that we were ready for at the time under the cloaks of religion until we got to a point where the time was right. And
Right.
then he came out, and him coming out, this is a lot of people don't, they were afraid of his power because he was trying to help, like straightening out the misinformation and going through all our, like, the different factions that we had in terms of people that were Christians, Muslims, Jews, and he was just teaching us. But then some people took offense to it because they felt like, who do you think you are? You think you know everything, and and he's like, I'm not insulting. I'm just showing you the truth. And
True.
the thing
Yes.
with the truth is, you can either embrace it, you can reject it, but it doesn't change from being the truth. So now I think a lot of those people that confronted him at that time when he was setting the record straight in terms of the different writings, whether it was dealing with the 5%ers or the Nation of Islam or the Israeli Church or the Hebrew Israelites or the Sunni Muslims, the Orthodox Jews, whoever he was given the information and the facts to, they either recognize that, what, this is actually clearing up and giving you the truth, or they looked at it like, because remember the programming makes people think like their books are special, the deities in the books are special, they know everything, they can do everything, and it's only one way. And if you don't believe as they do or subscribe to what they subscribe to, then you're going to hell. And here's somebody that comes along and he just tells you the truth, regardless of what background, what color, what like, status you have in society. He's just like, the truth is the truth. I'm here to just change this world to a better place. And yeah, so this is what's happening. Some people, the truth is bitter, but it's what you need. The medicine that you need to heal you can be bitter, but you still have to take it. You know,
Right.
yeah, you just
I'm
gotta.
sorry, say it again.
I'm saying you learn how to control your abilities, and with Wusabat, you'll definitely be able to learn how to do that.
Yeah. It's like sometimes when, and that this goes on into my next question, it's like, I try to always set my intentions. I give myself a positive affirmation every day. I teach my son that as well. And when you hear the inner self speaking, or your ancestors speaking to you I also, is like, I want to be sure that what I'm hearing is what's supposed to come out, because all intentions or all things that come to your mind, let me say it like this. Let me just say it how I want to say it. The only way I can explain it is, I doubt myself, because is it my physical, I don't want to use ego, but is it my physical saying this, or is it my ancestors speaking to me? And
Mm.
I want to say it's not me,
Right.
because how would I just think of something like that out the blue? I don't know to think like that. So I know it's my higher
This
self.
is just getting to know who you are and like
Yes.
embracing it. The master says, you do know because you have to look at the results. Yeah, because some people do project, or they reflect and project what they've stored or been programmed with.
Okay.
But you can normally tell when it's coming from a place of a shook, which is divine love. It's going to be something that the outcome is going to be great and beneficial to people or to humanity, it's not driven by the ego. And this is why I mentioned things like meditation and so forth, in terms of retrospectively looking at yourself and monitoring your thoughts and see
Mm-hmm.
if they're driven by selfishness or ego or pride or jealousy, or these are called mental diseases, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the more you are able to look into yourself and check your actions, like you should spend that time at the end of the day, and or even like you said at the beginning of the day, give gratitude and set the right intentions. And
Mm-hmm.
you know you program yourself to manifest in the physical the thing
Okay.
that you speak, because this is what I was saying when I was saying that Hika and these ancient ancestors of ours, they literally, this is why they say in the beginning was the word, because they literally can speak the word to manifest things and create realities and create
Right.
um, universes and galaxies. And so the amount of power we have is very much underestimated. So I'm saying at the end of the day, it's the same when you shed all the things you may have picked up that are not really good for you, like energies and things you've attached yourself to. And then you can also then, like you say, meditate to kind of like it's like watching a movie, rewinding your entire day and playing it through, but you're doing
Through.
this mentally to see all the things you did throughout that day, all the thoughts that you had, who did you help? Who did you maybe offend? You know, like when you do all this and you can go to sleep knowing like I didn't offend people. I was, mindful. I was caring. I was sharing. I was positive about many things. Then you know that the outcome of what you're receiving is good because the fruits or the outcome of what you're doing is not harming anyone. But you're right, you can be influenced by voices and other like because you get bombarded all the time with frequencies and voices and
Yeah.
vibrations from others.
Yes.
So you have to learn to discern which ones are bringing about like the action that you make. Like, are you angry? Are you calm? Are you peaceful? Are you aggressive? You know, what's manifesting in your actions daily. And the more you're applying the principles of Wu Sabat and living it, well, not the principle, but actually living it, you're able to what I describe it as being in the mode of being an autopilot. So everything is just it just flows. It's like, yeah, you're not you're not in control, but you are in control. It's almost like you can take back control. You know, like when you're cruising, like, or you got autopilot. Like now they're making cars drive you, and they're not even so sure that these cars are going to be. But they're self-driving cars now. But are you that confident that you can go to sleep in one of these cars at the moment? Right. So, but in your vessel, you can get so synchronized with natural nature that things will just flow and you will know. So, but there are practices, like I said, meditation and like thinking about, what you're doing for the world and the balance. This is why in ancient times, when you're being measured against the ma'at feather to see
Yes.
your heart and, because everything ultimately does come from your heart seat. And
Yeah.
yeah, so you will know, you definitely know
Yeah.
right from wrong and what is coming from you. The master said, you know, because if the outcome is for the greater good of more than yourself, then you
Yes.
just listen to that voice.
Yes. I my daughter told me from a book she read that I'm a service person. Like I'm always doing something for someone else. And she was like, when are you going to do for you? And it's like, I'm trying to control that part of me. Like they say, it's a gift and a curse or whatever. It's like,
Yeah, balance. You got
I'm,
to learn how to balance.
yeah,
Yeah.
and a part of me want to be selfish. I hate to say it like that because I was such a young mom. Like my youngest son is 13, but my oldest biological child is 36. But I also have a 40-year-old that he's been with me since he was a kid. So I have 40, 36, 30, 32, and 13,
Wow, you look so
and
young.
yes. And
Yeah.
I'm so different from the young mom that I was to this mom, like night and day. Like
Mm.
I know, I tell them all the time. I say I'm not coming back. I say I'm woke this time. I get it. I say when I leave here,
Yeah,
I
that's
get it this time. You
that's right.
know,
I hear that. I hear that. Yeah. But
So
yeah,
and I jotted down a lot of things, but I want to get to my fourth question, and then I want to talk about, because it's things that I've heard you say in previous I don't even know, we've been on here over an hour. I don't even know
it's
how
fine.
long we supposed to.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my last one, but I do want to touch on the things that I heard you say that resonated with me, that really, I'm telling you, when you hear this, you're gonna know that you were talking to me that day. I was like, he talking to me. But anyway, okay, to my fourth question. The physical and spiritual conversation about financial prosperity, right? So, like I told you, I'm multi-talented. My dad told me, he said, if it takes a man to make it, a man can fix it. So, by trade, I'm a network engineer. That's what I do daily.
Okay.
And but I'm a hairstylist. That was my first talent. Been doing hair since I was 10.
Right.
When I want to think I'm an amazing cook. I cook. So I have a catering business on the side. I
Right.
paint, I draw, I can fix a car, I can put a floor in. My girls are like that too. Like they are a product of me. Waiting to see what my boy gonna be, but because he's still young. And
Yeah.
I'm a basketball coach. All of them play basketball. Even my child, my oldest son, he played basketball very well. So it's like I can do a lot of things. However, I can't seem to, and I'm writing a book. I want to finish something. I never, even though I have the catering business, I moved from, it was doing okay here in Georgia. So I left Georgia, I moved to Florida, and it's like trying to start it all over. I was a hairstylist, stopped being a hairstylist. I had a salon here, stopped doing hair and went into IT and starting my book. I'm writing a book and haven't finished it. You know, I want to finish something. I want to follow it through, but it's like,
Times,
how do you say it?
sorry, go ahead.
Things, it just, I was just gonna, only thing I was gonna say is like life be lifing, and it like stops me every time. And it's been like this, you know, since I conceived my first child. Like something always, I stopped myself. I want to take full responsibility. I don't know if it's fear. I teach my son, his affirmation every day is, I'm destined for greatness. I am a leader. Clothes and shoes don't make the man. Being smart does. The God is within me, and God doesn't give me fear. I've been saying that to him since he was in the womb, the water, you know.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
discipline,
fear.
discipline
Yeah.
and management. You hear that phrase a lot when people say jack of all trades and master of none.
Yes.
It's really I say overstanding how the brain works. I relate to you because I was a network engineer. In fact, pretty much everything you've said I can relate to, and I used to be in that position that you're describing because it's like you do so many things that it can become quite difficult. Like people used to ask me, "What do you do?" And I would say, I think it's easier to ask me what I don't do. So
Yes.
I can relate to what you're saying. However, you do have to have the discipline, and sometimes this is why people have consultants or mentors or people that can help them to really focus, because your mind thinks that you can do many things at once, but you can actually only do one thing at a time. And we have a book by the master teacher, called The Mind. I don't know if you've read any of the books, but I will be recommending books for you. So The Mind and Your Potential. I I can almost be certain that when you read those two books, they will help you with the situation that you're currently agonizing over. And it's also a matter of management, and discipline is to be a disciple, or the word disciple is really being disciplined and being organized and efficient enough to be productive. Um, I have an IT background myself, and I've been project management. So things like managing projects from beginning to end, you need that to be able to know that you have your regular life, but you have projects that literally have a beginning and an ending. And that begin and end has to be managed and planned, and resources allocation and things like that, so that you do actually manage the project from beginning to end.
Gotcha.
Many people have, like you say, many books they've started but they never finish. It's starting is not the issue with
Mm-hmm.
many of us. We can have 100 ideas, but completing one of them is the issue. And like sometimes we put too many pots on the fire, right? We don't finish cooking one meal and we've got another 10 pots on the fire. So it is about, that knowledge, like in every other field, we're so religious to the point where sometimes people are so religious that their whole life is about the religion and they don't
Mm-hmm.
stop to think about, their physical world. And there's nothing wrong with having wealth or material things,
Mm-hmm.
because we are supposed to be. If you're so intelligent, have all these skills, and you consider yourself God and goddesses, why are we not doing godly things and building
Right.
the things we need to be able to, like, provide for self? So yeah, I mean, that's what I also do is consultations, because I know how to help people because of my background. IT is all about efficiency and productivity. So
Absolutely.
you got to learn to, like you said, work smart. In the affirmation, you said smart, not hard.
Yes.
People work
Right.
hard and not smart,
Right.
So we're living in a world where the game is about to change in terms of wealth generation,
Mm-hmm.
what people are even calling, money and like investments and things like that. This is why when we're in a community and working together, it's easy to see the pool of skills we have and how to actually help each other to accomplish and finish things.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, I'm doing a class this Saturday called Growth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, you're very in tune, because that's what it's going to be about. It's really talking about, like, how do we, most people, again, this relates to what I call the three C's, like, which you can apply to your everyday life, like commitment. Well, you start with courage to be courageous enough to actually endeavor to do something great and be better. And then the second one is commitment. You have to commit to whatever that is that you're now have the courage enough to start. It could be a business, it could be transforming your health, it could be any of those things you mentioned. And the last one is consistency, because you have to follow it through. So I refer to this as the three C's. And yeah, with that, you can actually manage and do things, and you'd be surprised. Like the master said, when let's say you've got a task to do, like washing the dishes, if you're able to focus on that one task, you're more likely to finish it quicker than if your mind is drifting. Like, whilst you're washing the dishes, you may be, watching the television and then dreaming about laying on the beach somewhere. And as your mind is going between all of these thoughts and being distracted, it's actually taking time away from you doing the dishes. But if you
Right.
just focus on the dishes, you get those dishes done quicker. So computers give the illusion of multitasking, and
Mm-hmm.
but it's because it seems like you're running many processes at the same time. I can talk like this because I know you've got IT
Yeah,
background.
I'm there.
But what you're doing is you're oscillating very quickly between the tasks. So you're
Yes.
actually sharing the time at a very fast pace between the different tasks. So it does give
Mm-hmm.
you that, yeah, like you're multitasking. And computers
Mm-hmm.
are actually based on us. The basic computer system has memory, it has a processor,
Mm-hmm.
and input and output. So, and of
Mm-hmm.
course, RAM and ROM in terms of memory. So um, we are the same. Our brain is a processor. Input, we get inputs coming from all angles at us, frequencies, vibrations, sound, light, and
Mm-hmm.
process all of that. And like you say, it can be overwhelming. Thoughts from different people,
Yeah.
uh, pulling you a different direction. And then really you got to process all of that. And then what comes out is the action that, you undergo. So we undertake. So really, it's about learning that you are a computer, and it's what goes in and what comes out. If garbage goes in, garbage is going to come out.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. I'm there.
yeah, so
Makes so much sense. I'm there.
yeah, so we
Okay.
just have some planning. Like I helped somebody yesterday, and yeah, just sometimes you need somebody else because you only see the world in your from your perspective, and sometimes
Perspective.
it's something so tiny that you need to adjust or change, and that will be all you needed to fix. But yeah, I hope that's helped you somewhat.
That I'm sitting here, you're talking to me, and I'm looking at you. It's like I'm looking at myself. I wrote your 3 C's down: courage, commitment, and consistency. As a basketball coach, I taught my player 3 C's: courage, confidence, and concentration. You
Wow.
know,
So, yeah.
yeah.
So we got
It's like,
each.
yeah, it's like you're the male version of me, and I'm sort of the somewhat female version of you. You're in IT, I'm in IT. It's like I'm telling you, you resonated with me through the screen. It was like I all of this is confirmation for me that I am where I'm supposed to be right
Absolutely.
now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I wanted to talk to you about something that happened to me, but I wanted because certain things is important to me. So as a kid, you spoke about this the other day. You spoke about the moon, and I think I typed it. This one I asked you about Nikola Tesla. You know, you was talking about the moon, but as a kid, I used to look out the car window when my mom would be driving, and I used to always say to myself, and I didn't understand. So I'm my desire is for you to help me. You know, I used to say I'm a moon child. I used to always say that I'm a moon child. Don't know what it means to this day. Don't know what it means. However, I always had a connection with the moon, not understanding why. I say it. I'm a moon child. Can you
Right.
help me there?
Absolutely. It does have some ties into the moon and what I spoke about earlier on about the water, because the
Mm-hmm.
moon it pulls on the tides of the planet, and because you're predominantly water, it does have an effect. This is why the menstrual cycle, ties into
Ding ding.
cycles of the moon. So yes, in that regard, I can see why you would have that connection with the moon. But there have been different versions of the moon, and
Yes.
the moon has been put there, and there have been different moons, obviously, over time. Um, but there are also beings that live in the inner part of the moon. The moon is not, it's not what it seems. It's like it doesn't generate heat like how the sun does in terms of
Right.
converting hydrogen into helium. So you have to think, well, where does its light come from? You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, some of the light is coming from the sun because the
Uh,
moon is non-luminous, but it's also got artificial or extraterrestrial beings that reside on there, but they actually
okay.
different parts of the moon. So you have, you know, the dark side of the moon, as it's referred to. And
Mm-hmm.
anything we say, we always encourage people to do their research and learn.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so yeah, the moon does have a connection with the female in terms of the cycles, and that's why when females live together, their cycles start to synchronize and they start to actually become one. And
Yes.
yeah, so perhaps that was the connection you have when you were growing up, but really we are women are unisex in terms of we're also sun people. But what happens is that because we are sun people, we relate more to the sun. But in religion, they started to use the moon in a negative way and trying to say like, take away the sun basically. So
Mm-hmm.
we are sun people. So when you look at like a lot of the religions, they're based on the moon cycle,
Right.
as I was saying before. And it's during
Right.
the moon cycle where things are cold, things are kind of dead. And when you look at the sun, it's the opposite to the moon in that regard. But yeah, you definitely, once you start to study the scrolls and see the connection with the celestial bodies, you start to see how we relate to the sun, how we relate to the moon, how we relate to natural nature in general. But the master teacher has written over 1,000 books covering literally every subject you can think of. So any question you have, you can get more extensive information from the books. And another one I'll recommend for you is the Lotus of Life, Sacred Feminine, and
You said the lotus.
Lotus of Life. Um, Let me see if I can. I gave the title, but I want to give you the exact title. But it's called the Lotus of Life and the Sacred Feminine.
Are you saying life, Life, or light?
What did I say? Lotus of Life. Yeah.
Life, Life.
Life, yes.
Okay, let me change this.
Let me just find the exact quote for you. I mean, title.
Because so far I got the Sacred Wisdom of Tahuti, the Mind, and the Lotus of Life. I got those 3 books.
Your Potential.
Here.
Your Potential's the other one.
Your Potential, okay.
Yeah, so it's called the Gospel. This one I'm talking about, it's called the Gospel of Yanun on the Sacred Feminine.
You said the Gospel what?
Let me see. Can you see that?
Okay. Hold on. Keep it right there. The Gospel of YAANUN on the Sacred. Okay.
All right.
On the Sacred. Okay.
Yeah. And one more. Who is God, male or female? There are so many books I recommend. And also the Melaninite Children. But I'm sure when you have a chance to go to any of the stores,
I'm going tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'm going to the store tomorrow because I'm getting ready to go back to Florida. So
okay,
I'm definitely going tomorrow. Like I said. So the other thing, these are just like little trivial questions that I wanted to ask. When you speak about the let me go to this one. The word prayer. So I don't necessarily say that I pray. Is that a bad thing? Like, because I don't like.
No, not necessarily. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's like I don't pray. Like
No.
most people be like, I'm always in prayer. I speak to myself. I talk, and I deal with me because I'm,
That's right.
I understand my thoughts and what I'm thinking and how I want to be. So when I speak with my children, like I was telling you earlier, I'm not the mom
that you used
that my 36 and 30, that I used to be. Like I'm different. So, in my 20s, it was the iron fist, do as I say. So, but with my son, my baby boy, they looking at me like, mommy, why he not getting a whooping? Like we got whooping. Yeah. What's going on?
You're transforming. You're transforming.
Yes.
A loving,
they say
caring God doesn't need to do that. You can be
we don't
and use other methods. So
absolutely.
You're transforming.
Yeah.
Did you? What was the question?
So is it? I asked you, was it a bad thing that I don't?
Oh, because when you ask people that do pray, why are you praying?
Right.
And
that's it.
What you'll find out is what they're calling prayer is begging somebody else to do something for them.
Yes.
With something they can do for themselves.
Yes.
So it's like, but the word pray, as I mentioned before, is Prey. That's what they're practicing. They're being upon by these beings that are requesting their energies, because people in religion will say, I think it was the same video you mentioned about with the guy that was, I think it was a reverend or something, but in that video, someone was saying God needs your, I can't,
Yeah.
something. And
Yeah. He said, God, I know exactly what you're talking about, because he said, God needs you. And you said, but if he's the God of everything, why would he need you?
that's right. Exactly.
Yeah. Like
Yeah. So
I be fussing. I be fussing when I watch the videos. I'm like, why y'all can't get it? He's saying it clear, but I
yeah,
digress.
no, it's a God concept, and literally
Mm-hmm.
you're speaking with your ancestors and yourself, and you're asking
Okay.
them to guide you, and you know
Yes.
you can speak with to your inner being and to your ancestors, and they will work with you and help you. But this has been now interpreted praying to God. But the gods they're
Right.
talking about are extraterrestrials, and they're preying on you because they need that energy from you. So when you cut
Right.
it off,
Okay.
they don't have an effect on you. So
They don't.
you channel that energy to yourself. You know, that's
Mm-hmm.
why we say if prayer is that great, and if your prayers are being heard, like do a test, get a plate and put it on your table and say, God, put food on the plate for me, and don't eat until the food appears on your plate without
Right.
getting up to go and do it yourself. It's not
Right.
going to happen. That's the reality.
Absolutely. I'm there.
That you're praying to yourself and you hear the voice in your own head, and it's either you act on it or you don't. But people's what they do is they speak to emptiness and nothingness and think that, you know, I mean, at the very best, their ancestors may help them, but they think it's going to God. But there's no proof of this God, and there's no way of you confirming. But you will hear a voice from your ancestors, and you do what they maybe have influenced you to do, and then you will say it was God that did it. Classic
Yeah.
example when people have an accident and they go to the hospital and the doctor is responsible for curing them or helping them. They say, "Oh, thank God," but God was not
Yeah.
present at all. And the argument's always, "But God is working through them to heal me." But it's like, why? Why doesn't he just click his fingers and heal you without that process of
Right. Right.
taking the glory from somebody else who's actually done
Right.
it? So
It's funny you explain it like that. I watched a girl one day on Facebook, and I'm not on there like that, but every time I do, I see something, and it's like, I worked I worked 3 jobs, this, that, and other, da da da. Thank you, Jesus. I'm like, but you work 3 jobs. you know, it's like,
yeah,
make it make sense.
yeah, exactly. Make it make sense. But
So on another, I was listening to you. I have watched so many videos with you speaking
mm,
recently. Like I didn't watch the woman in the Jesus that she could talk to Jesus video.
yeah,
Hilarious. Loved it. And you spoke about so many things. You spoke about Christianity and the conception of it and all that kind of stuff. But the one that you spoke about as far as the Indians go, and
mm,
this is where the conversation I had with my daughter, because we were together, and I was telling her what you said because it resonated with me. I said, I was trying to explain to her that it's all encoded in the DNA.
mm,
No, we might not be from Africa, but then I was explaining to her Pangea, even though you said it, you confirmed what I've been saying and what I've been thinking. I was like, okay, well, North Africa was right up against Virginia.
that's
So
right.
we were here. And I said, so if they got a Sphinx over here, it makes sense for them to have a Sphinx over here because they're the same and it's
Right.
encoded in the DNA. And I didn't want to digress into that because I could talk about Tahuti, I could talk about the Tamahu people, I
Mm,
could talk about the feminine of Shazet whispering into Tahuti's ear to give him the knowledge that he has. I could talk about that on
mm,
another level. When I look at your book, Who is God, Male or Female,
right.
I think about Shazet. When I talk to people, I try to base my life off of the meiotic principles. So I speak, I say my hotep, I speak. That's how I greet just about everybody. And I'm learning let me help me say it. Rohabat. How to
Rahubat.
say it?
Rahubat.
Let me
I
I
mean,
have to
you
write it.
just say it to the best of your ability. We're all still perfecting the pronunciation, but it's Rahubat. Rahubat. It's like there's a science and a vibration when we actually say it properly.
Right.
But with kind of our laziness, sometimes we just say things, we shorten everything, and we kind of cut the way we pronounce. But yeah, it's Rahubat would be,
Rahubat.
yeah,
Okay. Got
that's
it.
it. You said it perfectly, and I could feel
Thank you.
the vibration. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Were you gonna say something with that, or
Yeah. So with the Indian, so I was trying to explain to her it's the DNA within all of us, and I didn't want to digress because I'm at a stage in my life. I'm over a half a century now, years old. So I could care less about this um social construct of race. I could care less about that because you made it perfectly clear. You made, oh my goodness, that day you said race is DNA. One of my closest friends, she is, for me, she's copper, but she looks like a Tamahu person. You know, that's white in Egyptian culture. So she looks Tamahu, but I tell her all the time, you're not. And she said, well, Latoya, I'm not. I'm 2%. So you were speaking about they gave us the one drop rule. So I tell her all the time, I tease her, I joke, I say, but for me, because I'm so connected to her, no one in the world would believe I'm that close to her.
right?
Because of how I am spiritually, and I'm for us, but that cleared up so much to me because they say Hitler's black, Bach was black, this was black, so when you said that, you put it was another ding ding moment for me, of course, like that makes sense. Like if we could just get everyone's DNA, we'll see who's the minority and who's the real majority. I know we're the majority, but
Absolutely. This is the game they play, making the majority the minority, and then you feel like you're smaller than what you are. And they make maps, out of scale. So you think that, Africa is small when it's actually so much big. It's all games that have been played to suppress and, keep you from rising and knowing who you are. But to know
they can't play those games with me.
you hate anybody else is just that you prefer your own race. Like everybody should prefer their own race. There's nothing,
absolutely,
but it doesn't mean we can't share and work together and connect. And
I'm careful. I'm very careful. I wear my title Asa Enrique proudly, and I stand by it. And for me, like I say, I live in my ADIC principles to the best of my abilities. And of course, I have a flesh, so I'm sure I fall short plenty of times. However,
that's the reality. We all do. And that the illusion, people that think, they're so holy and thou that, they're perfect. And they lose their way because they look down on other people and they think that they have nowhere to go in terms of learning more. And
I'm not like that. I tell myself, you could talk to anybody, you can learn from anybody. I learned from my son, who's 13. I learned from a 5-6-year-old child that I talked to, so I'm always open. And that was one of the words you use. You have to be open. And I was so open to you. It was like you was pouring into my soul. And now you can see why when you speak, you're pouring into it's like, where has he been all my life? Like listening to you, I was like,
that's what you say about the master teacher. Like people are like, how comes I didn't know about him? And like, it's you weren't ready. You have to be ready. And if you're constantly on a low vibration and low energy, and you're not raising your mindset. So when you're ready, some people are born like from a child, they just feel and know that there's something wrong or something is not right with the environment they're in. And all their life, they start to ask and seek the answers. But, depending on your parents and the environment you grow in, the society, after a while, they suppress you and, you're not allowed to ask questions. And
Right.
it's a contradiction because you go to church and they teach you that this being is your creator and he knows everything. And but you can't ask any questions because that's blasphemy. Like, okay,
Right.
well, what's the point of him knowing everything if he can't tell me or if I can't find out?
Yeah.
But the reality,
Yeah.
the intercessors or those parading around like they're actually speaking on his behalf, they don't know the answer because they haven't done the work. And it's
Yeah.
theatrics, it's like drama. They just sing, dance, and play the tambourine and play the organ and get everybody all hyped up. And it's like going to a concert, but you don't get to ask questions about what matters to you and about your spiritual being and your soul and the deeper meaning of life. So those a lot of those guys, if they're honest, they do need to come down from the pulpit and start to study and learn themselves. And
Right.
they can actually be of service to humanity instead of just obviously not everyone. There are those who are you're doing they're trying, but really they haven't got the information to be able to take people all the way. They can take you so far, and it's a good stepping stone, but you do have to graduate from believing to knowing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got from you. I understand that the Bible is a allegory, it's a metaphor, it's his story. And
Right,
I could talk about the story of, I call him Asar, and I hear people call him Osiris, but the story of Asar and Set Typhon
right,
and Isis, I said, I know Isis as I said, I can speak it as far as the Greek language or
right,
so it's like I understand the Cain and Abel story, the parallels that they
right.
are and stuff like that. So there's a
Mm.
lot of times when I watch the OSM videos, I'm thinking in my mind, and I have to remember they're not me.
Mm.
How can they not understand it because or overstand it because it's so clear? Like
That's because you're at a particular stage already and your level. That's what school is about. Not every student's gonna be an A student, Um,
yeah,
you're gonna have different people at different levels that are still growing. And sometimes when you get it, it can be frustrating because you want
yeah,
to move on to the more advanced stuff and like,
yeah.
but we have to move at the pace of the slowest student. So
People, yeah.
that's
It's
that
like digressing.
and that's love and that's that care. So
Yeah.
yeah, we have to remember that we were once where they are. So yeah,
True,
trying to help
true.
pull them up to where we are.
Mm.
Hmm.
My mother, she passed away 8 days before my son was born. So while I was in her home and I'm pregnant, my daughter we was taking a video of her home, and all these orbs was around me, and I never really expressed myself with her passing with tears and all that kind of stuff because I understood on a spiritual level it was time for her. It was her time to go,
Mm.
and on my 40th birthday, years after I had my son, she came to me, and I'm gonna show you. I'm hoping you can see this picture that I'm about to show you. But she came. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. I don't. She
Uh,
came to me.
yeah, I
I'm
can.
not sure if you can see it.
Yeah, just about, but I see it.
Yeah, she came to me, and it was funny. She came to me through a polar. It's this Polaroid, but you can't see it. It's this actual Polaroid right here. But she came to me in that Polaroid. But years, like 25 years prior to that, my uncle who had passed away came in a Polaroid. So I knew that was my mother speaking to me.
Right.
And because at that time I was understanding the the Moors at the time. In that picture, in that photograph of her spiritual, she has a fez coming out of her cap.
Right.
So I knew that was my mother. And it's just, but that's all the time. Like, I have a Ring camera. I could see entities walking towards my home.
Right.
It's like I could.
Nothing
Yeah.
saying it's surprising because I've had, I mean, when HD came out, high definition, in terms of, I actually filmed beings, in a cemetery, and and people walked right past them and didn't see them. But when I played it, I showed them the footage, and they were like, that being wasn't there at the time, but it was caught on camera. So a lot of what people are calling, I don't know, whatever they want to call it, sometimes with technology and with more revelations, you're going to be able to prove and see things that, call them paranormal, but it's energy fields, and this is all in our books by the master teacher. So but
I could talk to you forever.
Your personal experiences are your personal experiences. No one can tell you any different. Yeah, we've gone way over time, and
I'm sorry.
It's all right. We could literally speak all day.
It's because when you speak, it's like when you start talking about the terrestrial, like I've literally seen the people with the dark eyes, and I'm like, I know that's a terrestrial. Like, I know, like, that's why you resonate. I can't say that enough. Like, the only thing I can do is that, like,
with the thank you. But it's all coming from Partner Babianon, so I have to constantly say that. I do know that we're all vessels and we can be utilized, but honestly, without him, I honestly don't know where we would be and where we're going or what would happen. So we just always say, for people to help spread the word about his justice, and just keep him in your, visualizations, and support in any way you can.
Yes, definitely.
Financial, like, to help us get him home, so that we can get the rest of the knowledge and the, what he's come to give us. And but it's been a pleasure speaking with you. And
yes, I appreciate your time.
I have to,
even though time is an illusion, I appreciate it.
I hear you. I'm sure we can always do it again anytime you want to. So just let us know. But are you in our Telegram group?
I'm not.
Okay, we're gonna add you or send you the information, because
okay,
we never stop sharing and learning. So that's one of the way we keep in contact and send out, newsletters and our classes and everything that's going on. So
I'm subscribed to the YouTube channel, but I miss the live, and I be wanting to catch them, even though I work from home.
Right.
I be wanting to catch them. I'm like, wait a minute now, I'm missing some stuff.
Set your alarm and put it
in the I saw you speaking. I was like, I even saw one to you was speaking with Bill Carson. I'm like, and Joe Rogan. You have one with Joe Rogan. I know it's an old one, but I was like, I missed that.
How? Oh no, we were actually it was a reaction video to, I think, either Bill Carson, Cat Williams, or somebody that was on there. We were basically
it's Bill Carson on. You reacted to Bill Carson on Joe Rogan.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, that video. I said I know it was a year ago. I said I missed that.
Yeah, we do have a lot of content, and
yes.
Yeah, so you just have to take your time and go through them all if you can. Yeah, you learn a lot.
I hit that road. That's all I listen to. Down the road is you, and I know your name. Everybody else's name is sort of a little difficult for me.
But when you go to the store tomorrow, that will be another good experience for you. So
yes, I'm excited. I'm excited. I just want to tell you again, I humbly thank you.
Thank you
for today. So enlightening. Thank you.
All right. And darkening. You're gonna
Yes,
you get to that video.
yeah, I
Thank
got you. Let me tell you, the Memphite text, I'm there because like I believe in nature. I'm in tune
Yeah.
with nature. And that was the one thing I didn't say that I did want to say, that people don't understand that the word religion means to bind. It
Mm-hmm.
means to hold you. And
That's right.
so for me, by me being a free spirit, I'm in tune with nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I gravitated towards the lion and the lioness, because the lion, you was talking about patriarchy in a sense, how he protects the realm. You was talking about male and female, but I
You got it.
interpreted as the lion, as the lioness. But it's that female that go out there and capture the food, to feed the
Eli.
family. However, the
That's
male comes and eat first and all. And everything was just, you were speaking, it was like I was just picturing and putting everything together. I was like, he's speaking to my soul.
right.
Like,
I hear you.
so thank you.
Thank
Keep
you.
talking.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. Have a great rest of
You
the.
do the same.
All right. Wadu.
Bye-bye. All
Wadu.
righty.
That's
Wadu.
another word you can learn. Wadu. Bye.
Okay, let me put this on my list. I got. And
W
so
U.
WADU is
Yeah.
bye, and Hahubat is hello.
Rahubat is greetings. Yeah.
Greetings. Okay. Yeah,
Oh,
that's right. We don't use hello.
yeah. All right. Wadu.
Why do?